Hey, welcome back to Sip and Talk with Jenny, your cozy corner for real conversation, good vibes, and a little bit of something to sip on while we figure out this wild ride called life. So today I'm going to be talking about something that most of us don't really talk about, and I know for a fact that a lot of us are dealing with this, especially for my recent graduates. Living at home versus living on your own. I said it. Yeah, we're going to talk about the advantages and disadvantages and survival tips for living at home with parents or living on your own. So picture this. It's your graduation. You have the cap on, the gown on, awkward family photos, and probably a rich and shouting, "We are so proud of you!" Meanwhile, your brain is going, what do I do? What job do I do now? The big question of what is next? But they don't hear that because obviously it's your graduation. For some, the answer is already clear. Move in with mom and dad, figure out clearance, and apply for NYC while you're waiting for deployment. Probably find one or two things to do while you're waiting for NYC to deploy you. While for others, it's all about the freedom, the independence. You're free going out. Where do I stay? Where can I get my own space? Make my own rules, live life the way I want to, arrange my house however I want to, and probably doing Gary for dinner with nobody asking you why. Okay, now let's get into the real talk. Living with parents. Living with parents is not really bad. I can say that I have experience, not personally, but I have seen close relatives who after graduation came back home. So I know the advantages and the disadvantages of living with parents because I saw it. One of the advantages of living with parents is you don't pay rent. You have a free roof over your head and free food. I mean, who doesn't want that? Free rent, free house, free food. That is luxury. But here comes the disadvantage. Most of our parents forget that we are adults, because if you're staying with your parents after graduation, you are 23, probably 24, 25. By 8 p.m., somebody is calling you already. Where are you at? Privacy. Is privacy even a thing? If you're staying with your parents, you know that privacy is not really a thing, because, I've heard them say, some parents, I've even seen my mom, she will tell you, as long as I stay in my house, you follow my rules. So sometimes parents forget that we are actually adults because we stay with them. So it kind of like slows down the growth process. That is one of the disadvantages of staying with parents. But it can also be comforting because you would need time to gather yourself, probably gather money to rent an apartment, food stuff, and all of that. You definitely need that security. So that is another reason why staying with parents is not bad. It's not bad though if you can keep up with the whole parenting thing, especially for African parents. Now, living on your own, that is real freedom. You get to decorate your space however you like. You get to eat whatever you want, go wherever you want to go, and nobody's asking you where are you and what time are you coming back. Do whatever you want to do. That is real freedom. And living on your own makes you grow fast. I am a great example. After graduation, I told my mom that I wasn't coming back. The woman she was angry. Yeah, she didn't understand, and I get where she was coming from. But I have always wanted to live an independent lifestyle, and I can tell you for a fact that freedom is good though, but it comes with its own conditions. So living on your own is cool. You grow fast, you learn, you learn to make goals for yourself, you learn to make principles for yourself. You grow fast. You grow, and that is beautiful. You get to make certain decisions, like whatever decisions you're making. But living alone has its perks, but it also has its disadvantages. And one of the major disadvantages you have of living alone is money. Trust me, if you start living alone, you will hate debit alerts. You will hate your bank. because you'll be spending money. You're paying rent, you're paying for your food, your bills and everything. Now it's not easy. It is not easy living on your own because all the billings are on you, and that is actually a very, very tough transition, because while in school you are receiving allowance from your mom, your dad and every other siblings you can receive from. So you are living soft life, and then you graduate, you now want to live an independent life where you get to pay your own rent, feed yourself. That is tough. I don't know if they did not tell me, because as if they told me, I would have gone to my parents' house. I would have gone there and at least rest for like 2 years. Then before I will now come outside, at least I will not use and gather, save up, arrange myself up. But I wasn't told, and I wouldn't say I'm regretting the life now, because I've learned to overcome certain challenges. I can hold certain conversations now with my parents. My parents can call me to talk about certain things, because in their mind now, they see me as a grown-up. Like, if I'm able to fend for myself, that means I'm truly grown. So I mean, that's it. But which of these is better? Which of it do you think is better? Honestly, I don't think there is any better one or there is any right choice. Everybody is different. We all know what is better for us. Living with your parents doesn't mean you are behind. It doesn't mean you are lazy, or you don't have what would I call it, dream or passion to want to live independently. You might just likely need more time to gather yourself. And also, living on your own doesn't mean you have it all figured out. Trust me, if there are times where you need to ask your mom certain questions, like how to cook certain food, like I asked my mom certain things. But what I'm trying to say is, living on your own doesn't mean you become Superman. It doesn't mean you become Wonder Woman. Do you get me? These are stages of growth that we need to take step by step. So living on your own does not mean you can't still call them for money when you are stuck. It doesn't mean you can't still call them for advice when you need one. So there is actually no right or wrong answer here. It's just if you're living with your parents, I would advise that you take certain steps so that you don't get too comfortable living with parents, because we can easily get comfortable with free rent, free food, and then it slows our growth process. So when staying with our parents, I would advise that we take certain measures. Like, you can take up certain bills at home, like maybe, okay, I'm going to make breakfast, or I'm going to pay the rent this year. Little things that make you feel responsible. And then if you're staying alone, paying your bills, also understand that you don't have it all figured out. You can still call home for certain things. If you don't have to know it all. It is growth. Growth takes time. Okay, I think that's it for today. I am really glad you stayed with me through this. I really want to know your stories in the comments. So please tell me your stories. Like, if you're living with your parents, what has your experience been like? What have you learned? If you're living alone, tell me your experience so far. And yeah, that would be fun. I would really want to know, because I just told you my own. Living alone is not easy, but I thank God. See you next time. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I would also like you to click on the notification button so that you get the notification every time I drop a new video. Thank you so much for staying with me on Sip and Talk with Jenny. I'll see you next time. Bye.